Hello and welcome students to today's class of fashion designing. So today we'll be learning what are the important tools of a fashion designer, what tools help a fashion designer to create his or her ideas, her designs into a real life garment. So for that, let's start with the basics. So the first tool we have here is an inch tape. On one side of inch tape we have inches. You can use this inch tape to measure the body of the person for whom you are making the dress. On the other side you have centimeters and inches. You can use this measurement to accurately create your designs. The next tool we have is scissor. This is a very important tool to cut your fabric, to cut your designs. You need a scissor. The third tool is a trimmer. Often we need to cut threads, the fray edges to make garment more finishing. For that we use trimmer. The next tool is a marking chalk or a pencil. We use this to create our designs over the fabric, to mark our designs on the fabric. Then we have head pins. We use these to put the pieces of fabric together in a temporary manner before stitching them. And we have these set squares. We can use this to accurately mark the edges or the seams of the dress. You have different shapes over it. You can use them to clearly mark the seams of the dress, that is the outline of the dress. We have the armhole curve. While creating the draft of the curve of armhole or creating a piece of armhole, you need this curve. We have got other French curves that we need for creating your couture designs, various design that needs a special kind of curves. Next we have a square scale for making once again the seams or the edges of the garment. You need a square scale if you want to make it curve. You can use the upper side of the scale. If you want to take your seams very straight, you can use the lower side of the scale. This is a sleeve curve. Last one we used was to create an armhole, not to create the curve of the sleeve so that it fits well to your arm. We use a sleeve curve. So after this we have got hip curve. A hip curve is quite similar to the sleeve curve, just that it is used at the hip. To give a perfect fitting on hip, we use the hip curve. Next we have is the leg curve. As last two curves you have studied, this one is also used in a similar manner for giving a curve to leg. Now hip curve and leg curve are quite similar, but if you see, the slight difference makes the difference in fitting. And last but not the least, we have a straight scale. Now we have a piping thread. This is used to give a more beautiful finish to the edges of the dress. Often in women's wear, we would find such kind of piping. And the most important tool of a fashion designer is a sewing machine. A sewing machine is what makes your designs, your ideas come into life. It assembles all the different pieces of garment to create one fine garment. One must take a very good care of sewing machine. You need to understand that like any other machine, it needs proper oiling, proper care, proper cleanliness. You need to regularly check your sewing machine if it is in a well working condition or not. You need to oil different parts as per needed to avoid any kind of damage due to friction or anything. You need to keep it very clean. Different parts might contain dust and other issues. So these were the basic tools used by a fashion designer to create a beautiful garment. There are other more finer tools that are used by a designer, but these are the most basic tool that almost every designer needs to create a fine dress. So students, half of these items are found in most of the household and might be in your household as well. So if you have these items, go have a look at them, try to understand them carefully, try to use them, have some experiments. This is all about having ideas and experimenting on them. Make use of the thread, of the needle, Try to create some design and do share it. We'll see you as soon as possible.